Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to our Chapter 2 math lesson with subtraction concepts. And we are going to work on some subtraction today. But before we do that, I would ask that you please make sure you have some of these items. Have your math textbook, have your whiteboard and marker, and some counters. The counters should be the two color counters, okay? And your work mat with the part hole on it, all right? So those are the things you should have around you. If not, pause and go get them and come right back. Okay, so our lesson today is modeling subtraction. And remember I said modeling is showing, okay? We can show in a couple of different ways. But one of the things I first want to talk about with you is the word subtract. I want you to think about what you know about subtract or subtraction and let the adult helper near you tell them or say it out loud. If no one's near you right now, say it out loud what subtraction means to you. Okay? All right, to take away. Good job. And as we always discuss, we have an essential question for our Chapter 2, and that is how to subtract numbers. So we're going to learn so that we're going to turn it into an I can statement of I can subtract numbers. All right, for a little bit of practice for the problem of the day. This might be helpful with your whiteboard or your counters. So I'm going to read it to you. Write a number sentence to solve. Carlos checks out 2 books from the library. Lexi checks out 3 more books than Carlos. How many books does Lexi check out? Okay, so there's the information. So let's look at what we know. We already know, okay, and I'm going to use a writing tool here. We already know that Carlos had 2 books, that he checked out 2 books. So I'm going to draw a little couple circles, 1, 2, right here. And that Lexi checks out 3 more books than Carlos. All right, so she had the same number and then 3 more. Okay, oh, that circle's not closed. There we go. All right, how many books does Lexi check out? Well, right here and here are the numbers that we need for our addition number sentence. So here we go. 2, and don't forget your symbol. Since she got more books, we know that it's going to be plus. And she got 3 more books than Carlos. And they want to know how many books does Lexi check out. So we're going to put an equal sign. Symbols are important. And let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to print the 5. Okay? So check your work. All right? And let's check the answer. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Okay, now keep in mind that with addition, we have some clue words, okay? And it says that she checks out 3 more. All right, so that right there, we know she has more than Carlos, and the sum is 5. All right, good job on that. Let's check out this one. It says, how can we use objects to model subtraction? Okay, so now they're getting our brain ready for subtraction, which we already said is taking away. Okay, so we can use some objects. Let's take out, you can use counting cubes, connecting cubes, or counters. I'm going to use the counters. But you could use them, well, one way I like to use some objects is I can slide them up into however many I have, right? That's one way. And then I can take them away when I subtract. That's one way. Another way I can use objects to subtract is I can put them here. Now this is if I'm drawing on paper, okay, or on a whiteboard, I might draw the circles, and then to take away, I could X out what I am taking away. Because once you draw something on paper, you can't really move it like a counter, all right? So either of those ways could work. Another way is if you have the connecting cubes, and I know some of you really enjoy those. Let's move it over here. Really enjoy those connecting cubes. They kind of remind me of Legos. All right, because of the way they snap together. Here's connecting cubes, all right? And if I wanted to subtract, I could take one of those off and move it away. So here are 3 different ways with 3 different materials that you can show or model subtraction, okay? Good job. You already do that anyway. Okay, so now let's go. And this is where you're going to use your math textbook, page 115, okay, and for lesson 2. And I like this page because there's a 2 pin at the top corner, and he asks, which toy is your favorite? I kind of like how they always put that in there, so while you're waiting, you get to look. I think I like the Etch-a-Sketch. I remember having an Etch-a-Sketch when I was a little girl, and I always played with it. Okay, so right here, all right, I'm going to read you the math story, okay? And like I've always asked, I'd like you to please listen to it first before we do anything. That way we can kind of think about the information the math story gives us, okay? So there are 10 toys in a toy box. Well, there you go. Here they are right here. I think if you count them, you'll see that there are 10 of them, okay? And Marty takes out 8 toys to play with, all right? They want to know how many toys are left in the toy box. Now, I would like you to use your counters, okay? And this is, remember, I've said this before with using your mat, your part whole mat, okay? We don't really have enough counters as we use larger numbers to show them like they do with 10 here and 8 there and all that stuff. And I think the way I'm showing you is going to be a little easier for you to find the answer. So just try it for me, okay? So I'm going to place, and you can do this on your mat, all right? Not on, because your book may not hold it and they may slide off, so that's fine. But here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, they're on top of each other a little bit. So maybe what I'll do is I'll extend past it so we can see them. Okay, so there are the 10 toys in 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. I made myself check. Okay, so there are 10 toys in the toy box, and they told us that he took out 8 toys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 8 toys and put them in the part, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's what he has out around him that he's playing with, Marty. So the question is, how many toys are left in the toy box? Well, here's some things here. So let's move these up here to the other part, the missing part, and then count. 1, 2. So there are missing two toys that remain in the toy box, and you can print the number 2 right here. Okay, so once you've moved them out, all right, now with the pictures this particular time, they don't always show their math problems like this. If you chose to, we know there's 10 here, we could always draw an X over the toys that he took out. And I'm just going to start at the top and move down rather than skipping around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the ones that don't have an X, a mark on it, shows that those are also the ones that are left in the toy box. So 1, 2, which matches what we have up here. So that was another way that you could check yourself. Okay? All right, so clear off your mat. Okay. Now, this is why I have said to you that you should always just put everything into the hole and move them to the parts, because see, with the paper, they're drawing, okay? They can't move it. And I like being able to move things, okay? It helps our brain think about what we're doing. So it says, when you know the whole and one part, you can subtract to find the other part. So right here, they have 9 counters, and they knew that 2 of them, all right, were up in one of the parts. Now, they have, okay, they moved the other remaining ones up here, okay? So there's the empty part and then the 7, okay? Now, if I were to work on this on paper, again, what I like to do is let my eyes see that what's being moved, okay? Because like I've told you before, we can't move it if it's on paper. So if you know you have 2 parts, okay, in there, you could just put them up here, and then you would know the rest go over here. All right? We're going to keep going over this, so don't worry. Okay, now use work mat 3 and your 2 color counters. Okay, so let's do this together. Right now, how many counters are you going to put on your whole portion of your work mat? Think about that. Tell somebody next to you. Yes, you're going to put 5. So put 5 on there. Now let me just say something while you're moving the counters, okay? I know that many of you know some of the math facts right in your head. You don't have to figure things out. But as I always tell my kids, all right, the reason they give us math facts that we know or getting to know is that if we work with the numbers we already know and we make a mistake, we will look at it and say, wait a minute, that's not right. And you'll count your counters or check where you move things again, okay? So I need you to practice working on the way to do this, okay? So that when we start working with numbers that we don't know or we don't know so well, it's easier because you already know the steps, and now you're just working with numbers that are new to you, okay? So we're practicing doing the work, okay? So they show that in this section here, there are 4 parts. So let's move them up. Move them to your work mat, the first part, okay? Now, what's left down here, how much? That's right, 1. So when we look, there it is. The answer is 1. Okay. Now, on the second one, all right, again, 8 counters. Put them here. All right. You can pause if you need to put your 8 counters on your whole part of your mat. Okay, I bet you some of you have already started to move 6 of them to the part. That's good. That's good. It means you're getting it. Whatever you have left down here, move it up there. All right. Pause if you need to so you can count and write it in. And the answer is 2. Good job. All right. All right. Now, on the bottom with the talk math, it says that you have 10 counters. Okay. All right. So And I can't do that because they didn't give me the color counters. You do it while I talk about it. Here we go. Listen first. You have 10 counters. Okay, so put 10 counters on your mat. 3 of them are yellow. All right, tell the adult sitting next to you how you would use the part whole math to find how many are red. All right, it says explain. And the way to explain is show them with your 10 counters, when you take 3 of them as yellow, how do you know what the other part, how do you know that what the other part is for red? Okay? Pause to tell them and show them. Okay. All right, so boys and girls, for the on my own, it's the same thing. All right, use your work mat. Okay. Use your work mat to work on 3 through 10. Okay. Use that for 3 through 10. And write your answers and have an adult check them for you. Okay. All right. Now let's look at. Whoop. Move down. All right. Let's go to. We don't want homework. I am messing up today with this. All right. Here we go. All right. Once you're done 3 through 10. All right. Come back for number 11. And again, your work mat is going to be the great thing that helps you with this whole lesson. Okay? Use work mat 3 and the counters if needed. Again, I would suggest you use it. It's good practice. Okay? I'll read it for you. You can pause and figure it out. Clara saw 6 eagles on a limb. 2 eagles fly away. And how many eagles were left on the limb? Okay, so think about that. Think about what the whole is. That's right, the 6 eagles. 2 of them flew away. Pause and figure it out. Okay, here's your answer. Check it and see. Yep, 2 of them flew away. That's right, that left 4 of them on the tree limb. Very good. Okay, now again, crocodiles this time. 10 crocodiles in a pond. 3 get out of the pond. How many crocodiles are left in the pond? Okay, work it out on the mat, pause the video, and come back to check your answer. Good job, 7. All right. Okay. Let's look at this for our problem solving. The whole is 10, and one of the parts is 10. What is the other part? Show it on your mat. The whole is 10, and one of the other parts is 10. What is your answer? What's the other part? All right, pause if you need to figure it out and work it out on your mat, okay? Okay, let's figure this out. Well, if the part is 10, the whole is 10, and the other part is 10, I moved them on my counters. The other part is 0. Is 0. All right, that's right, because you took everything away from the whole. All right, boys and girls. All right, if you need to practice again, or you just like doing this math with the mat and the counters, certainly you can practice with the homework page. And good job, and have fun with the rest of your math. Bye, guys. See you soon.